Hey, I'm Melanie Martinez, and you are listening to the Capsule podcast on liveinlimbo.com.
I better wash my mouth out with soap. God, I wish I never spoke. Now I gotta wash my mouth out with soap. I feel it coming out my throat. Guess I better wash my mouth out with soap. God, I wish I never spoke. Now I gotta wash my mouth out with soap.
This is Capsule on liveinlimbo.com. My name is Sean Chin.
And I am Andreas Babiolakis. This is an adventure to music, film, and pop culture.
Happy Halloween, Andreas. How's it going?
Pretty good. Recovering from first surgery, as I had just mentioned before we started going into recording mode. So
you actually have real blood dripping from your toes right now?
I did before I had my surgery. That's why I needed it. But right now it's bandaged. So it's very exposed skin that
it's
I'm
just
protecting.
Throbbing in pain.
Yeah. So happy Halloween. Ooh.
I guess you're not going trick-or-treating then.
I am doing Halloween festivities. Like yesterday night actually was the first time I was out and about, moving around, because for the past 3 or 4 days I was stuck in bed. But I have to take it easy. So if I walk around for too long, then it feels like my nails being ripped off. So I've got to be careful.
You need a wheelchair.
No, crutches at most.
Crutches, okay. Cool. We'll move to the next topic, but later in the show, we have an awesome interview with Melanie Martinez. She's a rising up-and-coming artist, and I think she's going to be the next big thing, so stay tuned for that. Have you had any paranormal experiences in your life so far that you can share?
Kind of, not really, because I used to be a heavy believer in all of this stuff when I was a kid. I mean,
like Ouija boards and stuff?
No, well, I never had a Ouija board, but I kind of believed in them. But I don't know, everybody else would be out playing softball or something. I'd be at home reading about ghosts. So when I was about 10, I had this experience where I thought I saw a ghost near my bookshelf in my room, and I thought it said hello to me. So just imagine like a 10-year-old boy screaming out of his room, like running, bolting it through the door.
So you actually ran out?
Kind of, yeah.
What did it look like?
It was just a ghostly hand. That's all I saw. But now I can basically guess that I was drifting in and out of sleep. And that's why that happened. Because, I've had weirder things happen, for similar reasons. But, I also went to Wales with our high school, St. Augustine. And we supposedly stayed at a haunted hotel. But, the worst thing that happened was the mirror fogged up. Yikes, ooh, that's so spooky. And then, yeah, I did another school trip to the Winter Garden Theatre here in Toronto, which is above the Elgin Theatre, right? And apparently before that was reopened, that was haunted, and I felt nothing, but every other classmate was like freaking out, like, oh, I feel the temperature changing. Oh, it's a ghost, I swear. So basically every supposed ghostly experience I've had has been debunked as silly or non-existent. So not really, sadly to say. I don't really
Someone just opened the door and a draft of cool air came through. Did you ever read those like short stories, like the ghost short stories? I forgot what they were called though. They're in books. It's like an anthology, and there's like 15 short stories in them.
Like fictional ones?
Yeah, fictional ones.
I guess so. I don't remember any in particular.
I have to go look that up. Those were good. Did you ever watch in the 90s, I think people from Canada will know this the best on YTV, but have you ever watched Are You Afraid of the Dark or Goosebumps?
Yeah, I was a part of the Midnight Society.
What? Really?
No. Oh. I just thought I was, but no, I used to watch both of those shows partially religiously. Now I think Goosebumps is quite silly and over the top and borderline stupid. But
wait, like looking back at those episodes or like the current Goosebumps?
Well, looking back, I haven't seen the new movie. I think the thing is, the movie's supposed to be actually kind of decent because it plays on the fact that Goosebumps is really hokey now, and it's not actually scary anymore.
I haven't
Which,
read any of like the modern ones. The only one I remember was like the Haunted Mask and the Carlsville one where they're like miniaturized.
well, I'm talking about like the Jack Black movie, the one that just came out. That's
Oh
supposed
yeah,
to be
that's
like
terrible. That's not even
I
based
heard.
on Goosebumps. That's based on like the guy who writes Goosebumps.
Well, that's the thing. It's supposed to. It's making light of it because the Goosebumps books and shows haven't really translated well throughout age. Like now they're really silly or they're really hokey now. So I don't know. I've yet to see it. I don't know if I really want to, but I've heard that it's actually not too shabby.
Really.
Now, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
That was a
I
good
think
show. That was freaky.
I think the hokiest parts were the Midnight Society parts. Like, you're not the mafia. Take it easy with these rules you've got for telling ghost stories. But the actual stories themselves, some of them were a little bit silly. But you know what? In retrospect, some of them, they're not scary, but a lot of them are way more creative, or they have a lot more going on. Like the one where the mall got turned into like this medieval pinball. Like,
Yes, that was a great
what
episode.
what drugs do you have to be on to think up of something like that? Whereas Goosebumps would just be like, "Oh no, I put on a mask; it won't get off my face." So,
I love no that episode was the best. I forgot it was what it was called though. The do you remember the ending though? Like in Are You Afraid of the Dark? The endings are not always happy. It's like he wins the game and then it just restarts and he
yeah, and he's
has to
stuck on
like
them all.
yeah he's stuck in there forever even if he does win. That's
Oh,
terrifying.
it's great. That's what I mean. That's why I don't know if it's appropriate for children because I don't know. Look how I turned out, but it's so much more creative.
But like compared to the children's show that they have today, it's like they have all this weird anime happy stuff. I don't know. It's different.
Well, it's like that with cartoons too. I mean, like even old SpongeBob compared to new SpongeBob, like the old one was riskier and the new one isn't. And then like look at the shows we used to have, like Ed, Ed and Eddie, Red and Stimpy, I guess Courage the Cowardly Dog. And like the cartoons that they have now are super safe. They're not gonna pass
Well,
with
they
like
have
any.
Adventure Time now. That's kind of cool.
But the thing is, they know who their audience is. Most Adventure Time viewers are sadly people my age,
I know.
So they know that. That's why they've made shows like Rick and Morty, which look like they're for kids, but they're clearly not for kids. There's no middle ground anymore. You know what I
Actually,
mean?
my cousins watch Disney XD, and there's some cool shows on there. I think there's one called Peanut and Pickle.
Sadly, I don't even know what that is, to
Okay,
be
good. You don't
honest.
need to look at that then.
Is,
All right.
is it worth watching, or is this just
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of comedic.
well, what is it? What's it about?
It's about a peanut and a pickle that talk, and they're like friends.
Do you write for Netflix? Like, are you the guy that writes the descriptions? Because that was very insightful there. I totally got exactly what the show's about.
That's literally what it's about.
Well, that can't be a good thing then. I don't know. I don't know what to
Anyways.
tell you.
So you like Google stuff and you like podcasting, right? So you must be happy with the news that Google Play will finally be allowing you to subscribe directly to podcasts such as Capsule, which you should do.
What, me personally or the listener?
Everyone that uses Google stuff.
I'll subscribe to my own podcast. Okay. No, but I do think it is good news because Google Play is a widely accessible app that I find myself going to very, very often.
Well, yeah, it's like it's the iTunes store of the Google ecosystem. And now we don't really talk about Google too much because I don't like them, but in this case, it's all for podcasting, so I think it's good. They never had one before, so.
Yeah, and it is good because again, I don't know. I'm constantly on it looking for new games, looking for new apps. So I don't know what it's like because I don't have an iPhone, but it's probably like that in your end too, where it's like, what new features are being like put in the spotlight now on in the App Store or whatever. So with me, I'm constantly on it. So this is good because I'm not somebody who will peruse highly online for new podcasts or anything. So this is
Yeah,
basically shoving podcasts into a place that I'm on basically on a weekly basis, looking for new stuff. So you know what? It's going to be quite accessible for a lot of people like myself who don't like
I'll admit that
looking for
yes,
podcasts.
there's a lot more people that use Android devices, and the majority,
there?
like statistically right now, the majority of people that listen to podcasts are from Apple devices and iOS devices just because there is a dedicated podcast app for it. So I think now that Google Play has like a native default place search engine to find new podcasts, then a whole new audience is there. Like, I don't even know how Google, like Android people listen to podcasts. Do you just download, like Dakota, he will just download the file onto his phone and then listen to it there.
There you go. That's your answer.
Yeah, but that's not how you're supposed to do it. Well, now you can, it will be different now, so that's good.
Well, you can do it either way, because if you stream, you have the possibility of it being choppy.
Man, maybe.
It's just easier, and it's a click of a button, right?
Yeah. The only downside is that it's in the US right now, but eventually soon it will be everywhere, so that's good.
Yep, you better get your country breaking apps going. Like,
I'm
actually
probably
kind
gonna
of
have to get, I have to get like a cheap Android phone just so I can test it out. So whenever a new episode comes out, I can see if it looks well, if it's like formatted well. Well, I'll just
I
have
could
to
lend
keep
you my
asking you.
broken one, even though you can't even unlock it or anything.
Oh my
But I
God.
could lend you that one.
Yeah, I guess so. So do you like Grimes?
Yeah, I love Grimes.
Did you get to
And
see her new? Yeah, what?
yeah, no, I was just gonna say she's got 2 new songs
Yeah,
right
so
when she basically promised.
tell us about it.
Well, earlier this year she said, "I'm gonna release an album, maybe October, maybe November, maybe September. I don't know when. We'll see." And yeah, sure enough, within like the span of what was it, like 3 days, she
Yeah,
released 2 new songs.
in the same music video,
Yeah,
two-parter.
absolutely, and it's crazy stuff. Actually, I'm really digging it.
It's called. So it's like part one is flesh without blood. Hey, that's actually kind of like your toe problem.
Thanks. That's
And then the
exactly
second
what.
part is life in the vivid dream, which is also like your ghost story. Ah, hey, this is foreshadowing.
Grimes, you wrote this for me. I'm telling you.
At the end, it says dedicated to Andreas Babiolakis.
It's like, how the hell does she know who I am? I mean, I've seen her live twice, but it's not like she knew who I was. I don't know.
Maybe she does. So, did you like the songs?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love them.
Me too. She's
No, they're
really
great. This
creative.
is sorry.
She's very creative.
Yeah, they're very different from when she released What Was It Go last year, and people gave her flack for writing pop music.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I don't know either, but you know what? What I truly believe that she did scrap her entire album and start right from scratch, because that's exactly what this sounds like. It sounds like
But
not like it's not
do you
her or
think she
anything.
should have listened to the people's critique and scrapped her whole album? Even though, if let's say she really did like that album herself.
Yes and no. I think as an artist, you've got to release what you want to release, but at the same time, as somebody who just broke out into the pop scene, who's now opening for people like Lana Del Rey and is getting their name out there, who's being featured on the tops of lists like, Pitchfork, for instance. Like they said, one of her songs was the best of the decade so far. You have to pay attention to what's going to sell as well. Now, I'm not saying you have to sell out or anything, but if people are complaining and you basically could see that nobody's going to want to pay attention to the new album because it's not what they want at all, offer them something that they might want, but something that you might want as well. I don't know if she should have scrapped it. Maybe
Maybe
shelving it would
yeah,
be the right
shelf it.
idea.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
his name? Dr. Dre, he was supposed to make Detox for a long time, but he scrapped that because he himself didn't like it. Then he made Compton.
Basically, Detox was a result of too many cooks in the kitchen and just too much fixation, too much perfectionism, because he basically said, "This is stale. This is an awful album. I don't want this." So Compton came out, yeah, which I don't know if it's better or worse than Detox, but I'll take Dr. Dre's word for it.
But who
Because there
knows?
was
Like maybe we'll find out. They'll release these albums like in 10 years or something. The
Grimes
albums that
maybe,
weren't.
Grimes maybe. I don't know for Detox. I think Dr. Dre is heavily against that being released.
It's on a hard drive somewhere. Someone will hack it.
Well,
Store it on
like
iCloud. iCloud.
if it's anything like the song "I Need a Doctor," then I think it's for the best that we don't have it out.
That's
So
right.
that's probably the worst song I've ever heard him do, actually.
Oh,
So,
really? Wow.
yeah, absolutely. It was awful, but Compton is a great album. So I'm perfectly fine with this.
What's your favorite song from Compton?
Oh goodness.
That Diary song is my favorite.
I think the song's called "One Shot, One Kill."
And why do you like it?
It's a very if it's a song I'm thinking of, and if that's the one that it's called, it's been a while since I've listened to it. Actually, it's got a very fierce verse from Snoop Dogg. It's a very in your face, angry, kind of a mid '90s rock inspired song. It's just got a lot of fuel to it, and it's interesting hearing people who are like, well, Dre's 50 and Snoop Dogg's closing in on 50 soon enough, right? Um, it's interesting to hear the lyricism and the production. I know a lot of it was probably inspired or actually helped by people like Kendrick Lamar, but it's still interesting to hear people this far into the game so fueled and so supercharged. Like it's an electrifying song and it's very much alive. It doesn't sound stale at all. It's great.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Apple Music has 6.5 million paid subscribers. So this is after the 3 months of free trials where they had 12 million subscribers during that time. And after the free trial, they have leftover of 6.5 million people who are paying. So it took Spotify 4.5 years to reach that number of paid subscribers. I think now they have like 20 million free users, but Apple has accomplished what Spotify did within like 4 months.
Well, there you have it then.
Did you get a chance to use it yet? Oh no, you don't have an iPhone.
What is that supposed to mean?
No, you should get one. Because you did watch the Steve Jobs movie. I still have not yet. I'm going to see it this week, but I don't want you to spoil it. He doesn't die, right?
No, not in the movie. No, I'll tell you what it is. Basically, you'll know exactly what this is because I've never met a bigger Apple fan than you, to be honest.
Thank you.
You'll know, because usually if describing this movie, I would say it's 3 very important lectures that he has, but you'll know exactly what I mean. Okay. The launch of the Mac, the launch of the Next that he created when he was out of Apple, and the launch of the iMac.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, all of that makes a lot of sense to you. Basically, the entire movie is the moments before these huge lectures and everything in his life.
Oh wait, it wasn't the iPhone one?
No.
Oh, okay.
I guess because during that phase, Apple was really at its peak. This is when Apple and Steve Jobs himself were being questioned.
So there's actually no reference to the iPhone at all?
I won't spoil it, but no, okay, it's not the iPhone, but they do make a very interesting nod to another Apple product towards the end of the movie. Like you can see like his brain's already brewing with other ideas.
But I see.
No,
I didn't know it went back that far. I thought it was like the Next, the iMac, and then the iPhone.
It actually goes back even further because even though it's in real time before these actual lectures, some of it's composed of flashbacks while he's talking to different people, saying like, "Remember this?" or "Steve, remember when this happened? And you said this. Why didn't this happen?" And you can see like him with Wozniak in the garage, for instance, like really young Steve Jobs, or him with the former founder or the former CEO of Pepsi, like in negotiations when they're both a lot younger. Like they age everybody in the film so damn well, from like the youngest that you see to the oldest that you see, which is basically like, when did the iMac come out? Like 98?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the colorful personal computers.
The iMac.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like 98 or something, I believe. So yeah, no, the thing is, it's not a movie that's going to glorify Steve Jobs. If anything, it shows his complexities and the fact that he can be a bit ruthless. But at the same time, it's to show that a ruthless person has qualities to him and does have a heart somewhere. That's the whole point of it. So I wouldn't suggest going in to watch this being like, "Oh, this is going to make Steve Jobs look like this big god or anything," because
it's not a documentary.
No, and the thing is, it's to be taken with a grain of salt because a lot of it is truthful. A lot of it is Aaron Sorkin's fabrication, which he will openly admit that he's basically making a movie with real people, which he did with The Social Network. So don't go in believing virtually everything happened exactly the way that it did. But it's Steve Jobs, written by Aaron Sorkin. That's exactly what it is.
It's a character study.
Basically, but I don't know. I personally loved this movie. So far, I believe it's in my top 5 of the year.
Wow. So you're gonna buy an iPhone?
No, I'll buy the movie though as soon as it's out, but I'm not gonna buy an iPhone.
Okay, well, there's no other way we could promote it, so whatever.
It's a good movie. I'm surprised you haven't seen it yet, actually.
No, because I don't know. Maybe I don't. Maybe there's like something that's saying like you don't need to watch it. I don't know. Will it ruin my view of Steve Jobs?
Well, how do you feel?
About what?
About Steve Jobs? Yeah.
I like him. Will I like him after the movie?
I don't know. Do you have the capability of understanding that he can be a dick sometimes?
Yeah. No, but like I think if anyone in a situation where they're starting their own company from scratch and you want to reach the level of like another established organization, you kind of have to have some ruthlessness.
Basically, well, if you can comprehend that, Fassbender's performance, which is up there as one of my favorite of the year, actually, is very delicate in the sense that if a lot of other people took this performance on, you would leave going like, God, Steve Jobs was such an asshole. I can't even imagine working with this guy. But for somehow, and I don't get how, because Fassbender's one of the best of our generation, and I've said that openly often, somehow you still feel somewhat sympathetic for him, even when he's like busy yelling or being condescending or being rude. And I don't get why. I guess because Fassbender somehow makes it seem like this comes from a place of genius or of imagination, where this man who's like a borderline savant almost has like this clear vision, and for some reason he can't see past it. Like he's inhuman almost.
Like
but not
you have it's like you have a vision and you just need, you can't get there by yourself. You need a team to get there, but you need them to also see the vision. You have to push the whole team forward, even if they don't see it clearly just yet.
Yeah, but Steve Jobs is still a little bit overly aggressive, I have to say. But I think you like Fassbender's take on it.
Okay.
I will say it is leagues better than that other Steve Jobs movie. Just putting it out there. Which, that one you actually saw.
I think, though, they should make a sequel. Tim Cook and the other Johnny Ive and the other Apple executives said people always look at the part where he was that ruthless Steve Jobs, but in the part with the iPod and after that, he did learn from his lessons and became less ruthless.
Well, you actually see that turning point in this movie, let's say.
Okay. But they should still make a sequel then. So if this one was the Mac next and iMac, they should do the next one with like the iPod, iPhone.
Nah.
No?
It wouldn't make for a good movie, I would say, because a movie that's too happy without any risk or
he dies, so I don't know.
Well, he does die, I guess, but I don't know. A movie with not much conflict isn't a good movie.
Is there any twist in the movie?
Not that I can think of. I mean, if you know everything about Steve Jobs and you've read the biography that came out shortly after he died.
No, but like if M. Night Shyamalan made this movie, the twist would be like he comes back from the dead or something.
He basically lives through the Apple products, and that's why you feel the need to buy Apple products, because his ghost is haunting you. That's exactly what it is. Happy Halloween!
That's an awesome one. So I had the awesome opportunity to speak exclusively with Melanie Martinez. She's a rising pop star. She's from New York. She's really, really cool. I think she's the next big thing. Have you gotten a chance to listen to some of her music?
A little bit, because the interview opportunity was brought up to me, actually, and until the interview time was actually switched, I was supposed to be able to. But I'm so glad that you were able to, because as you said, this is a rising star. And when I found out that like it conflicted with my schedule, I'm so glad that you somehow rushed down there and you did it all yourself. So let's give it up for the one-man show, Sean Chin himself.
I made my way down there in a rush, and we did the interview, the podcast, and it was pretty awesome. Like, this was at the Mod Club, and this was her first time in Toronto performing ever, and there was already a lineup outside at like 3 p.m. ish. Like two rows of people like lined up in front of the Mod Club. It was pretty good. She has a good fan base.
Well, that's because let's keep in mind that this isn't just a performer of sorts, but this is also, in a sense, a bit of a reality star. You know, anybody who takes part in any of these televised competitions is borderline a reality star. So
yeah, she was in The Voice. Yeah.
Sorry?
She was on The Voice with, and she was on Team Adam Levine, so that's pretty big.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's massive. And because of that, like, you can expect your popularity to triple almost. So, yeah, no, good for her. And, like, the opportunity was offered to me, but I wasn't able to because of my scheduling. So I'm so glad that you were able to take one for the team and you mad rushed down there and you got an interview with what you said was a rising star, and that's exactly what she is. So
and she's really friendly too. She was, when I met her, she had all her makeup and the fashion and the clothes on right now, and I got to talk to her about one of her Instagram photos, which is of her most recent tattoo. She has like 17 tattoos. I have 0, but it's with like this doll or like a baby doll with like roses around it, and the head's cut off.
so we're gonna be able to hear what that means.
yeah. She'll explain that. Happy Halloween. Yeah. So I think she's gonna be huge. So take a listen to that interview right now. So first off, I just want to say you have the coolest fans in the world.
They're really awesome.
They're the best fans in the world because there's like a lineup outside. I don't know if you got a chance to see them yet.
Yeah.
They're waiting for you. No spoilers. They have gifts and stuff like that.
They're really awesome.
So yeah, we got Melanie Martinez here in Toronto. This is your first time?
Yeah.
Yes. Sean here from Live in Limbo. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Very good?
Yeah.
Busy day? What were you up to?
Kind of. Just woke up and came here, did a couple like interviews and stuff. Yeah.
Well, the weather's getting kind of chilly, so hopefully it's not too
cold.
bad. And you're from
I'm from
New York, so okay, so you know what to expect.
Yeah.
You're used to it. Okay, cool. So first of all, I want to say, yes, number one, you have the best fans. And so I want to ask you on Instagram, you have a really cool picture that... I love tattoos as well.
Oh yeah, my tattoo.
So can you explain? So that one's on your leg.
Yeah.
Can you explain it for us?
So like, this is an artist that I really like. I'm pretty sure that they're Japanese. And they're really incredible. I've been following them on Instagram for a while, and I just wanted to get the tattoo because, I mean, the whole idea of the tattoo is it's jump for joy, and I think I've been like really like kind of down. You know, this tour, it's been kind of, you know, stressful, and it's been a lot to handle. So I think that I just needed to pick me up, and that was kind of my pick me up. So
how many tattoos do you have in total now?
Maybe like 17 or 18.
17. Well, I guess that was, where did you get that one done? In New York?
I got that one in San Francisco.
San Francisco. Very cool. So I guess, and that your Instagram handle is a really cool name. Little body, big heart. Yeah. Why that instead of just Melanie Martinez?
I just had it. It's the first Instagram that I made, and Little Body Big Heart is just something that kind of like made up, like a name I made up when I was younger. It was like my photography name, and now it's just like, I don't know. Now it's just like something that I like.
That's authentic. It's really nice. It's very cool. So the first time that we Live in Limbo actually got to see you live was at South by Southwest. Sweet. At Perez Hilton's show. Cool. The one night. And that was cool. So we've been following you since that earlier this year. You came from The Voice. Well, that's where your big exposure into the national light came from. You were eventually eliminated from that, but I wanted to ask, between then and now, what challenges did you learn from that experience, and how did you overcome them to get to where you are now?
I think that the biggest challenge that I had to kind of figure out and like go through was when I would play shows after The Voice. A lot of people just wanted to hear me sing the songs that I did on the show, and it made me furious because I'm a songwriter, and even when I was on the show, it was very hard for me to sing other people's songs because all I wanted to do was sing the songs that I had been writing that whole time, you know? And so I think that, you know, my biggest thing was really getting people to understand that I'm an artist and that I'm a songwriter and that I have my own music and I'm not going to be covering Toxic at any more shows, you know?
Yeah.
Like that was like really like weird for people to like, they would be like, can you sing
Play
Toxic?
Toxic.
Yeah. And I would be like, no,
No.
like you can leave. Like I would just get really like mad because like it's not my song, you know? And like if they really, you know, liked me as an artist, they would like my music. So.
Absolutely. Can you maybe like dissect what was your strategy into showing the world that you are your own original artist?
I mean, I think Dollhouse was kind of the start of everything. I was really excited to put Dollhouse out, and I put it out independent, and I made the music video. It was fan funded actually.
That's right. Yep.
And yeah, it was just like me and my friends just like making a music video. And it was like the first time I'd ever done that. And it was really exciting. And I put a lot of work into it. And I was really excited with all the positive feedback. And yeah.
That's very cool. I love your brand new album. It came out a few months ago, Cry Baby. It's amazing.
Thank you.
I think that's where the hard work paid off at.
Yeah.
Everything paid off there. But I can understand, and I've seen many artists through the process of making their first album or any album in general. It's a very, I would say, energy consuming, time consuming, mentally stressing process. When was the moment that it clicked and you said, yes, this is it. It's done. This is me.
Well, I don't know. I think that like Dollhouse was like I said, the start of everything.
Yeah.
And when Dollhouse happened, like I kind of had this whole vision like for everything. Like I knew that I wanted it to be cohesive and I wanted it to all go together and I wanted it to tell a story with the album. And I just like had this general theme for everything at first, and then it kind of all clicked. And then I, you know, created this character based off of myself, and her name's Crybaby, and I just was really focused on telling the story of like her life and like what she went through, and also like it's really cool that I get to like share how you know, how I'm just really similar to Crybaby.
Okay.
And it's really cool that I can like, you know, talk about I don't know. It's really hard for me to explain this. I'm trying to explain it well.
So
like
it's your persona right
this
now?
is well, okay. So yeah, I mean, like this is just like
what are
I
you
don't know,
wearing right now?
This is the first time I'm wearing pants. It's
wow.
kind of strange.
Ever?
Like in an interview,
Okay.
like yeah, I don't really
It's a
like
world
wear
first.
pants, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, like I feel like I am Crybaby, like I am the
Okay.
character, so it's really hard for me to like detach myself from the character, you know. But there are a lot of things that I kind of added into the album to really, you know, tell a story and like make it a little bit more like fairy tale like and whimsical as well. Like to be like, this happened to her, but it didn't really happen to me. Like she gets kidnapped and poisons, you know, the bad wolf with like milk and cookies. And
Absolutely.
like I obviously didn't do that. So yeah.
So your lead single off it, Soap, is awesome.
Thanks.
I wanted to ask though, because I feel like you did take some risks with it, with the drop, with the soap bubbles and stuff, because it starts off as a typical kind of pop song, but then it's not like a really mainstream drop there in the middle. Did you ever feel that was kind of risky?
No, I didn't really
No?
think about it because like I didn't produce it, so
Yeah.
like I didn't do the bubble drop. That was the producer, and I really loved it when
too.
he thought of it, and it was really exciting because like it fit the song perfectly, and I love when like the music also fits with the lyrics and the message of the song. So I don't know, I was really excited about it. I never really thought about it as a risk.
No, that's awesome if
Yeah.
you never thought about it like a risk. So
No,
that's
yeah.
great. On Twitter, I guess a big thing that happened was Adele announced a new album, 25, and Hello, you said you're bawling over it.
It's a really good song.
It's good, and I think it's interesting because so people like Taylor Swift and even your album a little is about breakups and ex-boyfriends, kind of like that. But Adele, When I heard that song, I thought it was about an ex-boyfriend too, but she said it was more about saying hello to herself. So her 21 was a breakup album and 25 is a makeup album. You going forward, do you think songs about breaking up will always be like the main thing, or will there'll be like a light at the end of the tunnel?
I mean, my album isn't about breakups.
No, not total breakups, but there's some of it.
There's some, but there are gonna be when I've been through breakups, and there were more like just general stories and like situations that happened to me, rather than like specific like breakups, you know, like, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really think about it like that. I don't think about like I'm making this song and it's a breakup song. It's way more than that for me. Like my music has different messages, you know, and it tells a much bigger story.
Absolutely.
So,
no, that's good.
Yeah.
And I guess my final question is, you're in this, I think you're a person that knows what you're doing right now. You're locked into the age. You're in no rush to grow older or anything. So what values do you hold or do you cherish that you want your fans to remember you by?
Just that I'm honest and real and a human being, and I make mistakes as well, and I'm not perfect. And yeah, I want them to know that.
There's beauty in the imperfections.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Melanie, for stopping by today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And we're back. Isn't she like just amazing?
If you insist, I don't know. I mean, certainly quite a character, I would say. So yeah, that alone.
I just find her album very refreshing and her whole persona.
Exactly. Well, I think that she's taken a bit of a page from, let's look at artists like, I guess maybe Lady Gaga or Katy Perry. Where
I knew you were gonna say that. Well, she does kind of, yeah.
They have their eccentricities, but at the same time, they're very down to earth. Like, as you said, she came to you in her makeup and her attire and her freaky ass tattoos, I guess, and
but she didn't have like personality. It's like, who are you, journalist guy? I'll give you like some short answers. She was like laughing, she was making good eye contact.
Exactly. No, like they're very personal people. So no, you know, with people like this, you always strike gold because you have the entertainment value, but you also have the human decency. So no, you know what? Yay for one man show Sean Chin for being able to do this.
And download her album Cry Baby on iTunes right now. I watch this. In 1 to 2 years, maybe in her next album, she's gonna be huge. She's gonna be like Katy Perry level. Well, maybe not.
Well, let's see. Yeah. Katy Perry.
She'll be bigger for sure. She'll be huger for sure.
If you insist.
I really think so. I feel it. I have good like taste in this stuff.
She'll be really successful. There's no doubt about that.
And when she comes back to Toronto next time, you should interview her.
I'll be like, hey, I'm Sean Chin. I have changed.
I am Greek now, and 6 foot tall. How tall are you?
I'm 6'3".
Oh, 6'3". Damn. Oh.
I took Q out of your book, except I put on too much makeup, and this is what I look like now.
And I lost my hair.
Oh, yo, thanks. Thank you so much for that.
And I only have 9 toes.
10 and a half.
10 and a half.
Was that a throwback to Michael Gerard's 9 toes joke?
No, I was going to say within 2 years, maybe they have to amputate your big toe.
Now it really is Halloween. Thank you so much for that. That's exactly what I wanted to feel.
Andreas, have you listened to our Little Mix yet? We have Volume 3 that just came out.
I have not, but I saw that it just went up. And
what do you think of our weekly playlist?
I think it's a good idea, actually. It's
Can you curate next week's Volume 4?
I could try. Like, what's the criteria? Just whatever's come out that week?
Yeah, no, well, see, people have always, they've been asking me this for like the last 3 weeks now, since this is Volume 3 now. But basically, it's what the curator, one of our editors, really like, some old stuff, and a little bit of who we've covered this week.
Yeah, I can totally do that.
20 tracks. Thanks to our friends at Spotify Canada.
Mm-hmm. I could totally do that. This is different from that other playlist you asked me to do, right?
That was your ultimate life story playlist. This is just a weekly thing. It's like it's not super personal to you, but it's just like what's cool now, what goes together well.
Yeah, I could totally do that then. I would love to
Cool.
set that up. I love doing stuff like this. Not that I'm some sort of like a super DJ or anything,
Yes,
but
you are. DJ Babiolakis.
DJ Babs. There we go.
Oh, that's a
that
good
kind of
one.
works.
DJ Babs.
Kind of works.
I'll be
now,
DJ Triple Chin.
that just sounds like you've got like weight issues there. I don't know.
Double Chin.
Why the triple chin? I don't get it.
Oh, I was thinking of like Triple H from WWE for a second.
It's like a different WWE character of sorts. Well, they are characters. Let's not lie. I don't know. Why don't you? I guess to be relevant with meme culture, why don't you be John Cena?
Sean Cena.
Perfect. There you go. You win. DJ Sean Cena.
Maybe I should dress up as him for Halloween tonight.
There you go. Well, nobody would. First of all, nobody would see you.
Oh, I'm doing that hand waving thing, but no one can see that because it's audio.
Secondly, if you were a DJ, virtually every song you have would have to have trumpets in it. Like you can't escape it.
Bum, ba-dum, bum.
Exactly. So you'd be shitting yourself in the mouth with that one, I guess. So, well, Sean Cena, I think it works out. There you go. I have created your character. Your time is now.
Your time is up. My time is now. All right, Andreas, where can all of our listeners find you?
Just a warning, I'm not a WWE fan. I just somehow know this stuff.
Yeah, you are.
Talk about, I don't know much about WWE, but if
Didn't
you,
you and Marianne used to watch it?
She did. I never did.
Oh.
But nonetheless, if you want to talk about anything else, you can find me on Twitter at Andreas Babs.
You can find myself on Twitter at Sean Chin. You can follow the show at Live in Limbo. Use the hashtag Capsule Podcast to join in on the conversation. Please subscribe to us in iTunes. Leave us 5 stars and give us some nice words. If you're in the US, subscribe to our show on Google Play. I'm not totally sure how that works yet, but give it a try. Search for it, maybe. I don't know. And as always, what?
I just said it's worth a play.
Yeah, it's worth a play. Good one. And that should be their tagline, actually. Trademark that.
I could be a billionaire, yo.
Yeah, you could be a billionaire. Hired by Google.
You heard it here first.
And as always, you can find the show notes at liveinlimbo.com/capsule. See you next time.
Have a good one.